That's kind of cool, and where that whole geolocation, tagging things going, and there's a lot of value in that for both the individual and I guess the people like myself that are offering a product, whether it be a finished product or something like the Mold House, which is the venue, and you can actually, as a supplier or a retailer or someone manufacturing something, can actually connect with the consumer and add value and take out all the traditional media, get rid of TV and radio and go, hey, I can talk to you on a local level. I know that you are here at this location. You come here a lot of times. I want to reward you for that because I value you as a customer. I'm going to ramble here, so I'm going to pass it on and look for some questions and take some leads. So I think that's probably enough without me going too far.
Awesome, thanks Luke. So we know who these 4 people are. I was just going to do a quick show of hands just to make sure that we are talking to the converted here. So who's on Twitter? Wow. Facebook? LinkedIn? Who didn't put up their hand? Apart from Kath.
No, you put your hand up. No on LinkedIn.
Cameron?
Not me.
Yeah? Okay, well, that's sorry, shouldn't be so surprised. But you know what these words are, right? Yeah. So nobody in this room is thinking, what on earth are these guys talking about? Okay, cool. Who's sitting on a burning question? Whoa. Do you want this or do you want to shout?
How many people were using Twitter and Facebook while these guys were introducing themselves?
I tweeted a picture of your beer. Anyone else?
You might get free beer later on.
I've got a question for Luke. I mean, you're using it for your business,
yeah.
And you're saying it's a way of interacting with your customers that can't get the product. You find that you have to react quicker and be much more responsive using this medium rather than just email.
Oh, totally.
So does that mean that you're online, walking down the street, you'll respond?
Yep. I've tried to build a virtual business model where it's like I don't own the brewery, I don't own the sales, I don't own the warehousing. So I'm getting people that are experts in each area to do the big parts of my business, so I can spend the time on reacting to the customer. Today I was at D4, wherever that is.
Featherston Street.
Featherston Street. And I used Foursquare and I said, hey, I'm here right now. A guy who's like a few floors upstairs, and I think he works for Deloitte, he comes downstairs, he finds me in the pub and says, hey, I love your beer. I converted to it like 2 weeks ago. And I said to him, I'll buy your beer. And he goes, oh, I can't really drink one. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I said, later on tonight, come along. You've made the effort to come and see me. I want to reward you for that. I want you to come to the pub and I'll buy you a beer. Yeah. And he's like, great. And he's coming to the Mold House later on. And I'm going to buy my beer. And that's what I do. It's like, it's trying to engage with because Epic's such a small brand. Like I believe that there's probably only 1,000 people in New Zealand that buy Epic on a regular basis. And that's really important to me because without those 1,000 people, I've got no business. And I need to be engaging with them one-on-one. I need to understand what they like about the brand, if they've got a problem with it, if they can't buy it. And I need to react to that immediately because without that, I can't grow my business because I don't have like tens of millions of dollars to go, hey, here's some billboards and TV advertising and national newspaper full ads and stuff. It's like, I need to engage with my direct consumer one-on-one and listen to them and react to them. And okay, there's a portion of them that don't understand, but most of them are like, they're on the same wavelength as me. It's like, I'm making beer that I want to drink, but at the same time, they want to drink that beer too. And we're on the same page, and it's like, if you're unhappy with that, how can I help you? And how do we engage, and how do I fix your problem? Because I'm making great beer, they realize that, and that's why they want to drink it. They buy into the brand. It's like, if you've got a problem on where you buy it, I'm going to help you out so you can buy it at the store next door.
Okay, well, I guess that's my point. You're not actually making the product. You're, as you say, you're the glue that's joining the product together.
No, I make it.
But were you not saying that you...
I don't own the brewery. I don't own the stainless steel. I go into the brewery and make the beer. Someone else owns the brewery.
So where do you find the time to make the beer if you're spending all your time online?
Well, I go, well, you can be online when you're in the brewery.
Just on there, one of the questions is a lot of businesses are scared about how do you scale that, because you've you've got this uncontrolled mechanism. It's probably good for everybody. The social media and all this sort of stuff is sort of uncontrolled.
Yeah.
So, you know, they understand email comes through a set mechanism. Like, I can ping you, what's that?
Yeah.
Any time of day, and you've got to react to it. And they're like, how do I deal with this? It's so random, they don't know how to scale it. And the question was asked of me, says, well, World Cup's coming. Potentially thousands, hundreds of, tens of thousands of punters suddenly turn up, suddenly start tweeting epic beer. Right. What happens? Yeah. So it's sort of like, what do you guys think about that in terms of...
If there's tens of thousands of people that have discovered Epic as a brand, it's like, I can work, I hope I can work that out. What I find is, life's the 80-20 rule. You're always going to have 80% of people that are happy and there's 20% that are going to be probably not so happy. Like I'm always checking Twitter, and a lot of times people will like do public tweets, but I'll respond a lot of times through direct because I don't really, because it's not really relevant back to the whole audience. So it's trying to find that balance between what message do you want to go out to the whole audience and what needs to, because there's some people that they're just assholes. It's just like,
yeah, well, I mean, you and Zero example, and even probably Airpoint's Ferry, right, our example of being personalised. There's a person, I'm having a one-way conversation. Like we can think of Vodafone, who had a person, then threw them away, and everyone said, bring back Ben, right?
Totally.
Okay, so, I mean, it's sort of a case of they think they get it, but they don't understand the rules, because there are no rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's sort of...
Yeah, well, I basically, that was something I thought about talking about with this whole sort of, here's what you need to talk about. I'm going, well, I've talked to a few people over the last couple of days saying I'm coming here and going to be talking about this, and I was probably talking about the journey that actually Twitter's been on, and having been, because I've been involved with Twitter since, I think I went back and looked, it was like March 2007, and I actually worked out that I'm going to use this as a tool to diarise the exciting things in the journey of Epic as the brand grows. And the brand's grown and it's changed, the audience has changed because we're now getting in different people. Because when it started out, there was just the hardcore geeks that are going, hey, I know how to use a computer and I've got email. But now you've got people that have got, hey, I've got dial-up. But the audience is changing like month to month, and the way you speak to that audience has to change too. And I'm finding that because as your audience is growing exponentially, and you're having to change the way you speak to that audience because your audience is changing so quickly into something else to what it used to be. To me, it used to be like sort of a room full of people like ourselves going, okay, we understand the technology, we're using it in this way, but we've got the mainstream now coming in, and we're having to communicate to them in a totally different way because they don't understand sort of the history of it or the tools or why we've come into it. And I think the message that we're pushing out to our followers is changing because, well, for me as I guess a brand owner, it's that the audience is changing, so you have to change the message. And I'm actually finding that by changing my message to the people that are following me, it's starting to alienate sort of the early adopters and the people that have come on board and have bought into the brand. And it's like, well, I don't want to alienate them, but this new group of people that are a much larger amount or number of people, I guess it's sort of...
Well, it's like any business that grows, isn't it? I mean, I remember when Bell South first came to New Zealand, you know, they were like one-on-one, you could talk to them, you get to know them. Vodafone take over, bang, it grows a completely different animal, and you're alienated as an early adopter.
Yeah.
So it's the same in market.
If you've ever struck up a conversation or a personal one-on-one conversation with a person, say, 6 months earlier, it doesn't mean that you're still having that same conversation with that person. It's not a cumulative effect. You might be actually reaching new people. So,
I have a couple of...
I was going to move on from that.
Sorry not to dominate.
Well, I have a couple of comments about what you're saying. One of them is that you're touching on a bit of a bigger business issue, which is, do you develop your company to be about you as an individual person, or do you develop your company to have a brand that has an identity separate to you as an individual? And so Luke obviously is at this point, and certainly probably for some time to come, very